Well, here we are, back at her here at the Holub Project. Today, we're going to talk about oiling. And to be more specific, we're going to talk about top-end oiling, like rockers and push rods and oil in the heads and all that kind of stuff. Let's jump in here and I'll explain some more what I'm talking about. I don't know if you guys can see it there on the camera. Should be able to. But look at how dark blue this roller tip rocker arm is. And I'll show you a few more if you'll come in here with me. You can see that these aren't as bad. This one here's got quite a bit of bluing on it. A couple more over here that have quite a bit of bluing on them. Jump over here to the other side and you'll see a lot of the same. You can see which ones have started turning color. Unfortunately, that's on this El Camino that we just picked up. If you haven't seen the introduction video on this car, go backwards and have a look. So anyway, I believe in that video I was talking about how I took the valve cover off to check lash on the driver's side bank, and I didn't get to record it because the camera died and so on and so forth. Well, we got her back here to the shop, and as you can see, we've completely rearranged everything in here and have the lift open and the caddy over there so I can finish that last floor. Easier access, you know, with the door towards the inside of the shop versus the wall, you know, from the window to the wall. Anyway, got this in here and decided to dig further into what's going on and why these rockers are getting so hot. So I took the driver's side valve cover back off, started it up, and you guessed it, very little, if any, oil coming out of the push rod arm. So, took the passenger side off, a lot more of the same over there. So basically what I did was went through and loosened all of the cam locks to the point where these were sitting here rattling away, and I started getting oil. Well, the importance of pumping up your lifters, also known as filling them with oil, either before installation or before setting your lash and preload, shines nice and bright right here. This is what happens when your lifters are not preloaded. Or if that happens and you're getting very little oil, you've got other issues. But as far as I know, and from what the previous owner slash builder told me, the bottom end of this engine hasn't been apart other than checking bearings and stuff like that. So no machine shop work, none of the oil galley plugs or anything were taken out of it that I'm aware of. So one thing, you know, it would lead you to believe is that maybe these lifters did get soaked and filled with oil, and then it was just a lot of time sat around before startup or before engine break-in or any of that stuff. Another possibility was that they were just put in and the rocker arms gone through and preload set and then started up, which if that's the case and your lifter's not full of oil, feels like I got something on my face. Nope. Just a shadow. So if your lifters aren't full of oil and you put them in, put your push rods down in them, put your rocker arms on, go through, set zero lash, do 3/4 to 1 full turn preload, which is what this Edelbrock cam apparently wants. You're pushing the center plunger of that lifter down to the point where it can't fill with oil. And also your preload and zero lash and all that stuff's going to be wrong, because that's not pumped all the way up. So that could be collapsed a little bit, which is going to throw all your settings off already right out of the gate. So with this thing started up and running and everything loose, I finally started to get oil, and you can kind of see some oil on the headers. It was kind of starting to square up towards the fenders. You can see some more of it on this side. Was finally getting oil. Unfortunately, you know, I don't want to run the risk of using these rocker arms now. They're pretty much, I mean, they're toast. They're shot. There goes the trunnion. Even the trunnion, if you can see, that thing got blue as well. It got hot. Lack of oil starvation. Whoop. Never find that again. Never even heard it hit the ground. So I did order another set of rockers. This time I ordered full roller rockers instead of just roller tip. They should be here tomorrow. But what we're gonna do is, since I suspect collapsed lifters, and more than one of them, I only got oil coming out of probably 7 or 8 of them. We're gonna pull the distributor, we're gonna set the engine, cylinder 1, top dead center, pull the distributor and everything out. And then we're gonna put this fancy tool down in here. And we're gonna reprime the engine with no rocker arm torque, right? Because we don't want anything pushing that plunger down inside those rocker arms. We want everything loose. I'm gonna run this and try to pump these lifters up. And I'm just hoping that they do. That they pump up, we start getting oil out of all the push rods, and we can, you know, move on, put new rocker arms on it, and have everything oiling the way that it should. I don't think anything else got hurt. Here's the push rod from the one that I pulled out. Oh, I already have them up here. You can see the tip of that's fine. These don't have the ball on them. There's no bluing on them or anything like that. These are Trick Flow 80 wall, so they're pretty beefy. I don't see any damage to that, but we'll check all of them as we go through. Cam locks, the new lifters come with cam locks. So we'll just pitch these in a box and I guess save them for a rainy day if we get in a pinch and need one. I mean, there's a couple in here that are fine. You know, that we can probably use, and I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me, would you run these after they got that hot? I just don't trust it. I don't know if they had some degradation to them because of the heat. But yeah, anyway, so that's what we're doing. That's where we're at. There's some tidbits on oiling. There is, the reason that I got one of these instead of just a long flathead is because on these 350s, this bushing here acts just like the distributor, and it blocks that port down there to where your oil passes through where it's supposed to, instead of just being like a massive oil leak down there. Essentially, if you're just running a flathead and you don't have that bushing, there's nothing down there to create a passage for the oil flow, so it's just sitting there flopping around, and you're not going to get it primed as well to the top end. But so we're going to use this, have everything loosely set up on the heads, and really see if we can get some good oil coming out of these lifters, to where we can put the new ones on hopefully tomorrow night. So anyway, let me get this engine set. Number 1 top dead. We'll pull the distributor and everything out of it, and we'll get this tool jammed in there and see if we can get some oil pressure fired up. There's our gasket, nice billet. whatever that says, S0115. Might not be an actual MSD one, but it's still not bad. Has the bronze gear on it, or brass, whatever you want to call that. You have to run either that or melanized gear on a roller cam. So that's nice to see that that's been swapped out. Real happy with that. And we've got our engine set. I did have the tooth. It looked like maybe a little bit too far forward. We were sitting right about here, so I might have gone a tooth too far, but that's okay. We're on we're sitting at the 2 degree mark. So yeah, it was probably pretty close. That's probably right. So anyway, this tool here, oh hi pretty girl. It literally says even right on the package. This oil pump primer offers a superior design. It includes a bushing to pressurize the valve train. It primes the oil pump directly through the distributor hole using a 3/8 drill. That is why it's important for this bushing. You gotta have this on there to get oil up to the valve train. So this guy here should just slip right down in the hole. And then you're gonna have to fool around to get it splined to the oil pump. Right there, it dropped into that. You can feel the tension on it. There you go. There's your oil primer, and it's got that nice little cover on there so you don't shoot oil straight up in the air all over everything. So let's get set up with a drill, and we'll start turning this thing over. I'm going to use a cordless drill. I know a lot of people don't recommend that because you can burn them up, but that's all I've got, so that's what we're going to do. All right, let's bring you in here and let's have a look at these two right here. Starting to come out over here. Now keep in mind when you do this, you want to rotate it 90 degrees, prime it again, 90 degrees, prime it again. Go 2 full revolutions with the engine while you're priming. And you should be in good shape and get them all. But we're starting to get some oil now on this bank anyhow. Let's have a look over here. Let's see if we're getting anybody on this side. Those look pretty dry back here on number 8. 6 looks dry. Maybe some starting on 4 here. Nope, nothing there. So sometimes, you know, this can take a few minutes to get these all primed up. Let's I'm gonna put you guys inside here and have you watch the oil pressure gauge for me, see if we're getting anything there. All right, you guys keep an eye here. I'm gonna go run the drill. Let me know if you see any oil pressure. Well, what did you see? You see any oil pressure on there? All right, well, we're back. And I don't know how well you guys can see this, but this gear, being that it's a soft material, is not in great shape. Looking up the cam spec, they tell you that you can use basically whatever the hell you want, which doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. It says you can use cast, melanized, you know, whatever, but that's got some damage on it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drain the oil out of this. Luckily that's a soft material and it doesn't really have a whole lot of effect on engine components, better than it being cast, you know what I mean? So we're gonna drain this, swap out the filter, and see if by chance that changes anything with our priming situation. And I got 5W30 oil. I have no idea what's in this thing, but yeah, we're gonna dump it and find out what we got here. I'll bring you guys over here for a closer look when we go to drain it. It doesn't look bad. It's not super thick. Let's see what our magnet on our... I don't know if this actually has a magnet on it. Doesn't look like it. But the other thing that I was curious about looking at, and also why I wanted to drain the oil, was to stick my borescope in there, hopefully, if it fits, and look to see if the dipstick or the pickup tube has fallen off in the pan. So I'm gonna let this drain, and then we'll see what we find. Well, I can see the dipstick tube. Then I got my lens here all dipped in oil. I don't know, I don't see anything alarming in there. And we'll lower it back down and continue on with what we were doing. Well, let's see how much of this I can dump down the back of the engine here. We're just going to fill her up through the distributor hole, so I don't have to try to aim through these little tiny holes in the heads. I think these Vortec motors are normally about 5 quarts, so we'll just start with that. And the nice thing about that is if he put a different dipstick tube in, we'll be able to tell if it's accurate or not. Boy, that oil is so clean it's hard to even see it. Alright, had to give you guys a fresh battery. It appears 5 quarts is accurate, so that's good. Alright, she's got oil in her. Let's go ahead and jam the old twirler back down in the hole here. Dip her in. All right, let me come over to the other side. Sun's out, blasting me in the back in here. Keep in mind we got to fill up that filter I just put on it too. So once we get this flowed through, we'll have to recheck it. Oil level. So far, we got no action. Turn her up just a tickle. There she comes. I don't know, something seems weird with that pump. When you're spinning it, it's got nice resistance, and then it kind of It feels like it's sucking air for some reason. Well, I tell you what, that oil is very hard to see on this dipstick. I mean, we're pretty close to full. She might be able to take another quart. I don't know. Let's go for another little bit here. I don't know if you guys can hear that change in pitch. Let's hook the starter up and bump the engine over a little bit. It's going to be loud because that starter needs to be shimmed. We'll go there, see what we get. You can see oil dripping out of the bottom of this rocker arm back here. We're still not seeing anything up here. Nothing up here still. Let's look at the other side. Well, it appears there's oil flowing somewhere. You can see oil on the bottom of the head. Unless that was from me trying to fill it with oil through here earlier tonight. Let's see if we get anything over here. I'm not seeing diddly. We might have something going on with the pump. I don't know why we'd have such good pressure on the gauge though. Something's not adding up here, folks. All right, well, we got one whole bank to start oiling. It doesn't look like much, but there's oil. Nothing on the passenger bank as of yet. Just keep rotating the engine and hitting the drill. That starter sounds terrible. Needs a shim. I got that rocker all the way off. I don't know, I'm inclined to believe we have bigger issue. So, anyway. That's where I'm calling it tonight. I gotta go home and get chores done, mow before the rain starts. Crazy kids sleeping in the truck already. So we'll be back down here tomorrow night, revisit this a little bit more. Hey Bob, why you draining the oil back out? It's brand new. Well, I'll tell you. We're gonna tear it apart. We're gonna take the pan off. We're gonna take the front timing cover off. And we're gonna look for maybe a missing oil galley plug or something. I don't know. I can't figure out why this isn't putting oil pressure to the top. And there's only a couple things it can be. So, this block's never been in the machine shop, so you would think the plug back in the distributor hole shouldn't be missing, should be there. I don't know if maybe one of these front galley plugs popped itself out or something. I don't know, but we're gonna tear it down and find out. It's driving me nuts. I want to drive the car, want to make it right. I was missing half my oil. And so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna save on this oil here a little bit. And yeah, tear it down. And while this is finishing trickling, let's go for a walk. Jeez, grumpy tonight. It's Friday night. I had a pretty busy week at work this week. So I didn't get as much time down here as what I wanted. But what I did manage to do was, we got another oil filter in case we need that. We got an adjustable push rod checker, 6.8 to 7.8 in case we need that. We've got our full roller rockers here. Those will be going on. That's an air line for the rear. I broke this valve being an idiot, so I had to buy a whole kit to get another valve. We got timing cover gasket. We got valve cover gaskets. We've got oil pan gasket. We've got new galley plugs for the front, thanks to Dave and Randy down at DNR. There's probably stuff we're missing. Don't know yet, but that's what we have. And yeah, we're just gonna spend the night down here together, ripping and or tearing. Also, while she's up in the air, let's start from the back, work our way forward. So you guys can see the bottom side here quick. Here's the Ford 8.8. We've got new airbags. I think those are probably new-ish springs, not really sure. These have been drilled to a Chevy pattern, obviously to fit these wheels. We got spider webs already taken over back here. Here's the bottom side of the truck bed, our new tank. Here's our air lines for the rear air shocks and all that stuff. And we got, I don't really know what you call these things on G bodies, but they're there. Tubular control arms here. I think this is 2.5. We got thrush mufflers. Here's the floor pans. You can see that they are in very, very good shape and or probably new. Not really sure on that. We got something not connected here, brake line or something. Here's our other one with proportioning valve and all that. So, I don't know, whatever. Our energy suspension body mounts. Got to do a little touch-up paint. So these brackets and all this stuff have been fully welded on. Same with these brackets up here. They just need to be painted to keep the corrosion down. Don't worry about these other bolts, they're just not being used, they're just in there. Moving along, here's our support, the fixed dual exhaust. If you guys haven't seen these for G bodies, we had to do that on my other El Camino as well. They just bolt into the frame over here. Some G bodies, this side is extended to accept this. Some of them it is not, so you have to put an extender in there. A little more touch-up paint here. Bottom side of the motor, front calipers, dual piston, brand new dust shields, new ball joints, lower and upper, new tie rod ends, new drag link, new idler arm, new pitman arm, new front shocks, I believe as well. Sway bar links look like they've been replaced. We got these supports here. I don't know really what those are either. I don't think my white one has those. Yeah, bottom side of the motor. I might have, if we have to lift this motor up a little bit to get the pan out, which I'm guessing we're gonna have to, I might have some spare polyurethane motor mounts that I might put in, because this is all gonna have to come out, or this bolt at least, so we can lift the motor up. But yeah, there it is, the bottom side. Here's some of our electricals, O2 sensor and all that stuff. Yeah, starter. It doesn't like to disengage from the flywheel sometimes. I think it needs a shim, and I forgot my shim kit at home. Yeah, full welded exhaust, so it's clean. I don't know if these have been replaced or if they haven't been. It's hard to tell. I don't think they have, but they're just immaculate. It's really crazy how clean the bottom side of this car is. Somebody put a lot of time and effort into this. So anyway, there you go. There's your grand tour of the bottom side of the Black El Camino. I don't know what to name it yet. We got to figure that out. So we got the oil drained. I'm gonna see if I can sneak my fingers up in here somewhere and get to this petcock to drain the radiator. Either that, or we're just gonna pull the bottom hose. And I think the plan's gonna be, we're gonna lower this down and get all the topside stuff pretty much done first, and then work our way down here. Either that, or I'll do the pan first. I don't know yet. Beautiful radiator. Got our top shroud off here. We're gonna try to, I don't know what he's got. Looks like maybe just one down there somewhere. Yeah, just one. Just trying to kind of make my way to that petcock down there. Kind of hard to get to, but for right now we're gonna take this fan off, and we'll take our serpentine belt off, and we'll start pulling accessorize. I'm gonna set you guys up actually, and I'm gonna put you on the old time warp. I'm gonna put some tunes on, and we're just gonna get after it rather than wasting all night dinking around showing you the little stuff. I'd rather show you the big enough. That's Torx bolt. This guy, I don't have any big Torx down here, so I got to run to the house, get one of these. We'll get this alternator off of here, get the power steering unbolted and out of the way, take the water pump off, get it out of the way, pull the balancer, and then well, you know what, we might leave the balancer, pull the pan, set it back down in its mounts, and then pull a balancer, because I might have to put a screw jack underneath that balancer to lift the engine up to get the pan out. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, well, this is all tore down. I got to pull the balancer, and I think we're going to do that now. Pull that off, and at least for tonight, if we can drop the pan far enough to get the timing cover off, then we can at least see if the plugs behind this are shot or missing or fell out, or I don't know, any number of those things. And then I don't have a screw jack. A buddy of mine has one, and he is currently at work, so we might be stuck tonight, which sucks, because I really wanted to rip and or tear on this thing and get it, well, maybe buttoned back up yet tonight. It's only 5:30. I mean, you know. Anyway, let's get this balancer off, and then we'll lift her up and start going for the bottom side stuff. And guys, be careful doing this. Take your time and use the right tools and do it right. Because I tell you what, you strip something out in the snout of that crank and you're going to be a crank. You are not going to be a happy camper. And yeah. So there we go. That's off of there. Set her down. Don't lose your keyway. It should be in your crank snout. If it's not, it's in the balancer. Don't lose it. You need it. All right. That's all off. Nice billet timing cover. That's pretty neat. Really nice. Nice aluminum heads. I wish they had some sort of stamping or number or something on them. They don't, which is weird. But anyway, probably gonna pop these Allens out quick, and then we'll start on the bottom side, I believe. Alright, well, the timing cover actually came loose as I unbolted it, and it's moving around like it wants to come off, so we're gonna try. I don't think we can though. Isn't there bolts? I always saw on some of these there was bolts in the pan. I know the gasket goes up in it, but can we just weasel it out? Hey, look at that. Obviously can't put it back together that way, but all right, moment of truth. Are there any issues with the galley plugs? If I can see them. That one there is intact. The cam plate for the roller cam. This is actually a true roller motor. It was produced as a roller motor. And, you know, it has a roller cam back in it. So it has the cam plate, and then it's got that cover in the lifter valley. But I need to turn this engine just a little bit. You know what I could do with that cover off of there? Oh, I don't have any oil in the pan. Dang it. I was going to say I could run the priming tool. I guess I could fill it with oil again. We would lose some of it down here, but let me try to turn this engine just a little bit. Probably definitely not the right way to do this, but I should be. Let's see. Can I get to... Yeah, let's do that. I have a better idea. We're going to put it up in the air a little bit, and I'm going to put... there's no cover over the torque converter, so I can put that torque converter tool on it. And this is all tore apart enough, I should be able to see it from the bottom. Give me a few minutes here. I got to go help a buddy carry in a last piece of a four-post hoist or lift, and then we'll dig farther into this. All right, well, we spun her over just to tickle, just to line up our 2 marks. How's that look to y'all? Pretty good. Now we can take our cam gear off and know that everything's lined up. We'll be all right. Be in all right shape. It's not looking good. I think all the plugs up here are intact. So it may be an oil pump issue. I don't know, but we're gonna figure it out. All right, let's pop this off. If you guys didn't know, just a little trick for you. These pig mats that do not absorb water, that are the oil only style, and you need to clean up coolant, you can use a substitute to dilute that coolant to where those will absorb it. Like for me, I just used that Dawn Power Wash or whatever the heck it's called. And just sprayed a little bit of a sheen on top of the coolant there, and it pulled her right off. And it looks like all those plugs are intact. So this, here, let me bring you in here a little closer so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. If you've never done anything with a roller cam, some of them, like my big block motor at home for 66, there's a cam button that goes on the inside of the timing cover, and that's what holds the cam so the cam doesn't walk forward. And this motor, because it's a true roller, this is the cam hold in, this brace deal here. And that's what holds the cam to keep it from walking forward. You know, it holds it tight in the motor. This, I don't know, this plug looks a little suspect. The other two don't look too bad. They do have the tiny hole drilled in them, which I read about, and they did have to shave this off here because of the double roller timing chain setup. Boy, I wonder, can a guy get away with sneaking that timing cover back in there without dropping the pan? I don't know. We need to drop the pan anyway. So, yeah. Screw it. We're still dropping the pan. Let me take a closer look at these plugs here. And if I see anything crazy, I'll show you, but so far it appears good, which is not good. It's good, but it's not good. So, yeah, anyway. Alright, well, you got to look here. See that valve stem seal? How it's way up top by the retainer? And then you look next door over here and how that one's down on the guide where it's supposed to be. Interesting. The things you notice when you're rooting around in an engine. This is why we're the theholubproject. Alright, well, the pan's unbolted. Hopefully, I can't tell on camera, but I feel like this big Milwaukee light that's plugged in messes with the camera. Along with the ballast over there in the shop lights that's going out, that's been sitting here giving you the old flickers. Yeah, I see it too. Unfortunately, I haven't got up there and fixed it yet. Look at these though. How nice are those for oil pan? This thing wasn't leaking a drop. Also, I wanted to mention the valve seal thing going on up there. That's not necessarily the fault of the feller I got the car from. These heads come pre-assembled when you buy them from Pro Comp, with the springs and everything on them, complete heads. So that's a Pro Comp issue, as far as I'm aware, anyhow. Yeah, just what I thought. Trash. Oh, just kidding. But we are going to have to lift this motor to get the pan out. Probably quite a bit, actually. Jeez, criminy. But we can take our borescope and stick it over the side of the pan and have a look in there. See if there's something floating around in there, or maybe the pickup tube's just laying in the pan. I don't know. Let me get that thing out and we'll take a gander. Well, good morning. It's the next day. We kind of came to a standstill last night, unfortunately, because I don't have a harmonic balancer installer, so I have to run to town right now. It's like 7:15 right now. So I can press the balancer on and we can lift this motor up. However, while I'm going to town, I thought I might as well get a new oil pump and have it. And then I thought, if you guys remember back to when I did that rat rod truck and put a distributor and all that stuff in it, and had the weird issue with this wild, crazy oil pump drive for a, what was that? It was 1960 with a governor on it. So it had this end on the top instead of the grooved end. Well, I had ordered a pump for that truck and still had one at the shop because I ordered two trying to get one here fast. Lo and behold, they showed up at different times. Exactly what I needed, an M55. Standard pressure, standard volume. And I don't know if this has a pickup tube in it or not. I might have to open it up here. And then I also have an extra drive just from years of collecting. And also from when I did my El Camino, my other El Camino, an extra set of polyurethane motor mounts. So I've got those. See, when you order extra stuff on accident, sometimes you actually get to use it. It doesn't happen often, but hey, when it does and you've got the stuff here at the shop, it's real convenient. Let's open this thing up. I'm pretty sure that it doesn't have a pickup in it. It shouldn't anyway. Holy smokes. Let's see. No pickup, which is fine. I did look them up and they have them in stock. And there's our new sleeve. So what I'm wondering is, where's our spring? Right there. There's our spring, yellow spring. The different colored springs for these pumps are different pressures. You can order them separately and change any pump to have whatever spring pressure or whatever pressure you want. So that's kind of neat. I also have a M99 HV at home. That's a high volume, high pressure. We don't necessarily need that on this unit here. Here's where our center bolt goes up through. So yeah, we're not missing an outside bolt like I was thinking with the boroscope. But this guy will go on here with the sleeve, of course, like so, and then there's your oil pump drive. I'm sure the one that's in the car is fine, but yeah, I don't know if maybe this bypass valve or the pressure valve or whatever is bad in our pump. But hey, regardless, we had a new pump here and we're putting it in the car. So let's go to town, spend 3.5 hours there getting the crap we need, and by the time we get back here it'll be 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll have done nothing so far for the day. So that's pretty neat. Well, that's a pretty slick little tool. Balancer's pressed back on. Take her off here. And this is, actually I had to go to 2 stores. One of the stores, the inventory was off. They said they had it, didn't have it. So it's all right. Nice little kit here. Put him back in his spot. Throw this guy back over here. And then we just need to take our, got the instructions up there in case you need them. You know, you never know. Worked out pretty good though. Take this guy out of the center of the crank here. So that's on there. Now we can put a block of wood under it. Try not to cringe, you know, when you see me lift this up like this, but that's what we're gonna do. And you know, unfortunately, you know, it'd probably been faster to pull the engine, but I didn't want to, so we didn't. Look at these guys over there. Can you see them? Bunch of old guys trying to cut down a tree. Goofy guys. Okay, well, she's up in the air. Oil pan's off. And we're gonna dig in here. What kind of pump we got? Don't mind that coolant you see. That was just stuff dripping down and from the water pump when I took it off. Where's your little tag at? I don't know. It might be hidden from me. Yeah. It's a clean motor though. Very clean. Not mad at that at all. We'll look farther into it here though. I'm going to take this pump off here. See that spring inside this one? It's either lost its color or it's white. I don't know. But yeah, let's keep going. Let me get this pump down. And we got to do some measurements too to make sure this is in the right spot. It's nice and tight still, so it's not flopping. Nothing's missing there. There's our bolt for the oil pump. Well, let me try to get you somewhere where you can see kind of what I'm doing. Windage tray bolts are off, and we are taking down the oil pump, and she's leaking oil everywhere right now. So I'm just holding a bucket. Don't mind the chainsaw next door. The old guy, the old guys are getting her done today. They just come over here to borrow a couple tools. Bunch of good fellers. They're the type of guys you go sit at the tavern with, and next thing you know, you've had a 12 pack and everybody's walking home. All right, there's that. Let me dump this out in my pan down here. Hey, way to go, guys. You probably heard the tree fall, they just dropped it. Surprised they don't have a beer cracked yet. Goofy old buzzards. All right, let's do some examination here. Okay, here's our pump. Let's give her a spin. Something sounds weird in it. Something sounds weird in it. You know what's great though? There's nothing to be scared of in this oil pan or anything else. No metal in it. No crazy stuff. And actually, we're gonna put a pig mat over on the toolbox. We're gonna take this apart and look at the inside of it. Because we're looking for a problem, you know what I mean? All right, so this is a M155 pump. And I just did a quick read. And apparently this is a higher performance upgrade over the M55. I might have to shut the door. Those boys are noisy over there. So I can use either one, but the pickup, this is 1/2 inch, the other one's 5/8. So we have, that's wrong. This is a little higher pressure too. Apparently this was a stock replacement. It was just for a higher performance engine application, which would be the one that we've got here. It's a true Vortec roller motor from the factory. So what was that, like 96 or newer? 96 to whatever. But either way, let's take this apart here. Everything appears to be somewhat okay. Let me look at the passages here. And I don't know, this plunger, we may have to knock this roll pin out here and have a look at that spring. Otherwise, the gears, they look to be in good shape. A couple little marks in them, but nothing crazy there. Pickup looks to be fine. Oops. There's not a bunch of sludge or anything up underneath there. We could blow some air through it too and check. I don't see anything crazy going on. start knocking out our roll pin here. Put your finger over that hole so you don't launch your spring when you take it off. So this is, according to what I read on the inner line, this is supposed to be pink, which it is possible that it's worn off of there. But take a look through here. I believe there's a plunger inside there that should move back and forth. Because I think that's the bypass, isn't it? Isn't there that's what the spring's for, is a bypass. It's supposed to shuttle back and forth with certain oil pressures. And if that's stuck and not moving, then that's our issue. Because it could be stuck open to where it's bypassing. Because right now, if I'm thinking about this right, it should be closed and it's not. And it would open to open this orifice and relieve pressure. I don't know though. I could be wrong. You guys probably know better than I do. But that deal inside there is not moving unless it goes the other way to bypass. Really not too sure. I mean, I don't know, you guys probably can't see it, but there's definitely a sleeve in there. Well, let's get on the Google and do some reading. Correction, this is a 3/4 inch tube, not a half. 3/4 and 5/8. You can see here. Definitely smaller. I haven't found anything yet on this little with the bypass valve. I just don't know. I'm afraid to kind of dink on it. It's definitely in there. Let me brake clean this all out and get it cleaned up, and we'll get a better look at it. All right, well, we're working her back and forth. I just kind of tap her in there and then hit her with the blowgun. There she goes. So this is the shuttle that I was looking at in there. It's supposed to run back and forth. However, I believe that there's a lip in here, so it can only come back so far. So it doesn't block this passage, but there must be, yeah, there's another passage inside there. But it did appear to be stuck. I couldn't move it this way until I brake cleaned it all and hit it with the air gun. So it's moving free in there now. I don't want to risk putting this pump back in if that was the issue. We may have to take that rear main cap off and make sure that one plug is good inside there. Let me blow out this passage here. Make sure that's nice and clean. We'll put a dab of oil on this and then push them back in there. All right, well, our pump's all cleaned up. We'll throw some grease in there. You know what, your gear's taking off dry. Oh boy, there goes the timing cover. There she goes, greased up. Dry gear is a unhappy gear. You know what I mean? Oh boy. Still don't know what our problem is. I don't know if it was that shuttle in the deal or not. But we're gonna keep searching. All right, so the next thing we're gonna check is where that pickup is sitting in this pan. So this pan is 7 inches deep. So that pickup should be sitting 6.5, give or take. So we'll measure right off the edge of the oil pan. And if you guys can see, that pickup appears like it's way too low. That could definitely be an issue. It's sucking itself dry. They're yelling at me. Break time. So I'm gonna clean this pan up and see if there's a witness mark maybe in the bottom of it from that pickup sitting on the bottom. All right, we're gonna measure this right about where that pickup tube sits. And let's go to the back side of this here. We've got basically, well, from that rib, 7 1/4, say. And then over here, whoa. Let's see if I can do this here. This sitting, nope. Hold on. Let me get you set up so I can, holy cow. Let me get you set up so I can do this. There we go. All right. Put our straight edge on here. This is off the gasket, mind you. Off the gasket, we are at 7 1/4. So that pickup tube is damn near sitting on the bottom of the pipe. Or, geez, sitting on the bottom of the pan. And that's not good. You're supposed to have 1/2 to 3/8 there. And we don't have that. Look at this one more time here. We've got about 1/8. We've got about 1/8 of an inch between the pickup and the pan, unless you're supposed to measure from here instead of here. What's the difference between those two? That gives you an extra 1/8. So we've got 1/4 inch, maybe. 1/4 inch instead of 1/2. So we're 1/4 inch too tight. All right, before I run to town to get a new oil pump, I did want to show you guys also, let me move my light to the other side here. Instead of pulling this rear main cap right here, you can put, if you have one of these borescopes, you can put it up through this hole and see if your plug is up there. That's where that plug is that the machine shops take out to be able to clean oil ports. So just stick your borescope up here, and I'll try to do this one-handed. There's your cap. See it? There's your plug. You can come right up the deal. You can see the bypass, or not the bypass, but the oil port on one side. And then there's one directly across from it. And that's when you put your priming tool or distributor in there. That's where this sits. And those oil ports are on either side, so it's got to be able to make it around this. And that's why this is important to have, because it blocks it from going up or down. So it's forcing it through those ports, through your areas that you need priming and oil to go. So yeah, little fun fact for you there quick. I'm gonna run to town and go get a M155 pump and another pickup tube. I can't get this one to move. This is misadjusted. So we're gonna do our best to get the new one readjusted. And really, I mean, it's either a problem, it was either a problem with that bypass in this that was bad, or it's because this is too close to the pan and it's sucking that area dry where it's trying to pull from. Oil can't flow back in there fast enough as this is pulling it. So away we go. Okay, well, we're back again. Got our 155, got our pickup screen. Of course, you can't get both these at the same parts store. One parts store has this one, then you got to drive 30 minutes through town to the other parts store to get the pickup screen. So what, we're pushing 1 o'clock now in the afternoon. Full day, zero progress made. So we're killing it so far. All right, let me clear up some more space here. We'll get these opened up, get our new parts out. That's got our little tube. And this should be the 3/4 pickup tube. They don't want anybody stealing these, you know. Beautiful. Look at that. All right, so now what we got to do, get the tube set up with the correct depth in the pump. And maybe we'll figure out today if we've got our oil situation fixed. All right, so this is just loosely set in here, and I put a straight edge across and measured down to where this is at 7 inches. And the pan actually changed where I measured from. I don't know if you're supposed to measure from the bottom of the pan, like the flat, or the top of this ridge. If you measured from the top of this ridge, you'd have a fair amount less, but there's not a lot of oil, obviously, that sits on top of that. It's all from down here. So we use that as our measurement instead. And that's like 7.5 right on it. And so we're gonna set the oil pump at 7 to know that it's a 1/2 inch up from the bottom. And then we're just gonna actually, ooh, watch the tire. Smoke your head on it like I just did. We can just kind of straight edge this. To put our mark, we'll put a Sharpie mark on both. That way we know where it's going to be set up at. All right, there she is. That took forever. It's not easy getting this tube in. Then once you do get it in, you can just slide it right back out for whatever reason. So I tacked it. We're gonna go ahead and put the windage tray and pump back up. And then I'm gonna put down the camera. You guys have seen me do motor mounts. I'm just gonna slam some new polyurethanes in here, and then we'll continue forward. Okie dokie. Well, we got our beautiful new motor mounts. Loosely, well, they're tightened down here, but we're just setting in there. And we gotta take the balancer back off so we can get the front timing cover on. Then we'll put the balancer back on, put the pan on, fill it with oil, and try priming it. Do you think we figured anything out? I hope so. We'll find out here in a minute. Let me get this balancer popped off here, and then we'll clean up and get the timing cover put on. This tool is really slick, I'll tell you what. Boop. There she is. Just like that. All right, she is all prepped, ready to go. Let me shut off the big light because it's probably sending you all kinds of weird stuff going on. But yeah, cleaned up. We are gonna get out our aviation whatever stuff here, Permatex, form a gasket, put this on the block, stick our gasket on, put our timing cover on, and hopefully it doesn't have to come back off. Try to be sure your holes are lined up close as you can get them anyhow. All right, that's all on, tightened down, buttoned up. Let's put the balancer back on now. Lift this back up and try to sneak that oil pan back in there. Any of you guys catch it? I just did. Thinking about it, I was gonna put the balancer on, and then I was like, hey, how about you put the cam gear back on and timing chain? Yeah, I didn't. I'll leave it in the video though, because that's real world stuff. Not hard to do. Pay attention to what you're doing, folks. I think I've got the engine high enough. I didn't forget to put anything back in under the pan, did I? I don't know. Pumps in, windage trays in, pickup tubes in. That's all I took out. You guys think this is gonna fix the car or not? What do you think it was? If it is fixed, what? Drop your diagnosis in the comments. What was your guess as of what the problem was? I'm gonna be a betting man and say it was related to the pickup tube being too close to the bottom of the pan. That's gonna be my, if it's fixed, that's what I'm gonna say caused it. We'll know here before too long though. I'm gonna finish putting this pan up, and we'll see you guys here in a minute. All right guys, well, the oil pump is back in and primed or torqued. Jesus, sorry. The oil pan is back on and torqued. We're back down on the motor mounts with bolts through them. I mean, honestly, this thing's far enough together to put oil in it and try to prime it. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Everything's together on the bottom side as far as oil dumping out everywhere. So let's do it. Let's put oil in it. And see if it'll prime, I suppose. And try to find the oil pump spline. There it is. Oh, guys, is it gonna work? I really hope it does. Oh, all right, ready? Well, she's starting to do something, maybe. Is there that much air in it? Well, I don't know. It seems like it's pumping something, but it ain't making any. I mean, the pump sounds a lot better. All right, well, you guys look at the gauge this time and see if there's anything on that. Okay, watch this guy. See if we get anything. Well, what'd you see? Anything? All right, well, we're still down here dinking around with this. But before I show you any further, I want to show you this. Thought this was pretty neat. The professor actually figured this out today. Found it on the inner line. This is one of my lifters. Roller lifter, roller tip, hydraulic. And if you see me holding this, that means that I have the intake off that engine, right? Well, here is an LS7 lifter. See any difference? Very little. LS lifters are compatible in this Vortec motor. But if you look here, here's the oiling hole on the LS7 lifter, and here's the oiling hole on mine. Just a little guy tucked up in there. I may put a set of LS7 lifters in this car, but let me show you where we're at. So as you saw me last running the drill, was exactly the same scenario as it was before. A little bit of oil coming up, nothing hardly at all on that side. And so I said, well, I've got this thing this far tore apart. It wouldn't take but an extra 10 minutes to pop the intake off. So that's what I did. And with the intake off, what I was looking for was to see if there's oil running through the oil galley down below the lifters. Now, that being said, you can see oil coming up to the cam up here on number 2. However, your oil starts back here and then flows all the way up through the galleys, right? So if all your lifters are still in here, that's blocking flow. Little bit, little bit, little bit. It's just like an electrical circuit having voltage drops all the way up it. So your flow up here is going to be a lot less than your flow back here, and that's why they're telling you to turn the engine to full revolutions as you're going, so these lifters can come up and let oil by, and the cam lobes are in different spots, and so on and so forth. So what we're going to do is kind of move some of this stuff out of the way, because there's a lot of it, you know, from yeah, just everything. And we're gonna take these 2 back ones completely out. And being that this is a roller cam here, I'm not overly concerned about what hole these lifters go in, because they're not breaking into the cam per se like a flat tap it is. And these rockers are gonna get put in a box and get tucked away for a rainy day or a trash can when I'm 65 years old and somebody's like, why do you keep all this crap? I really should put new springs on these too, because the springs got hot, looks like. And that would also explain why that valve seal is clear up there on the valve. Probably got hot, stuck. You know, wasn't any oil. So, that being said, let's get these lifters out of here. And you just take this plate off here. Try to grab these slippery guys with your fingers if you can. Or you can do it the other way. Grab them with a magnet, which I had somewhere. There it is, right here. Try to keep it clean, you know. If you got a bunch of metal stuck to it, you don't want it down here screwing around with stuff. Okay, there's that one. Maybe pull this guy out. You know, when they got oil on them, it kind of holds them, sucks them in. Okay, there's those 2. Set those over there. And now, with a flashlight, we can look down in the hole at the cam and see if there's any oil flowing across it, which you guys probably aren't going to be able to see, but without those in there, you can look down the holes and look for oil flow. So I'm going to run the drill quick, see if we've got any flow on that side, and I'll report back here shortly. Okay, well, it's been shortly. It's been about 3 seconds. Ready? You guys will be able to see this. See the oil? Yeah, we got oil. So then, you know, you just keep going up the line here. And I bet you anything, if you turn the engine into a different position, you would have different results each time. But we're gonna take the rest of these out and run the drill and make sure we got oil flowing all the way up through. And when we get there, I'll show you. This video is gonna be really long. It may have to have a part 2. All right, everybody's out. She's all tore down. Let me grab this little pin light here quick. And let's have a watch. Let's see what we get. if we're getting any clear up here to the front. I mean, you can really see it. God, son of a gun. That, I tell you what, the magnet on this damn thing just irritates me to no end sometimes. You can see it up through these passages here. Pretty good. Obviously, you're not seeing as much in the lifter bores because now there's no restriction in there at all. So it's not, there's nothing in front holding the oil back to shoot it up through the holes like we saw on the other side. It's all wide open. I mean, you can see it here. So she's oiling. Let's see if we get it through there. I mean, I had it clear up to this one here. It's oiling, it's coming up through. There's just no restrictions or nothing. We can try to turn the engine a little bit here. All right, let's see what we get now. See if it changes at all. I mean, there's plenty of oil. I'm just not exactly sure how these galleys work. If they're like enclosed all the way up, like if it's just a small tube, or if it's kind of wide open. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to do some reading and see if we can figure out. I would imagine it goes around the cam kind of and then just drops right back down on the crank. Because you got your crank down there spinning that's going to kick it up also too. I don't know. Otherwise, I mean, it's clean. It's a clean engine internally and all that, so that's good. All right, well, stay tuned. I just put an order in for some brand new LS7 lifters, ICT billet. Great price on them, not a sponsorship. Those guys just called them up, told them what I needed, when I needed them by. They said, yep, we'll get them on the way. So, these lifters, there's probably nothing wrong with them. I can't see anything crazy going on. We tested out. We started putting lifter by lifter in on this bank and watching our oil flow up the galley. And obviously the more lifters you put in, the farther it makes it up here. We had it clear up here with just lifters in these 3 cylinders, rotated the engine, moved everything around. It changed it just like it's supposed to. So I'm gonna say that these other lifters are potentially either something's goofy with them. The pickup tube was too close to the bottom of the pan and it was breaking suction, which I definitely know that was happening. And that obviously is going to help with pressure, making it up here. Yeah, so, and also running the drill with some of these in, it was starting to come out of the cups. Yeah, I'm not gonna even bother putting those back in. We're gonna put new ones in, and then we have valve seals to fix also. Luckily, I have the tool to compress the cylinder to hold the valve when I take it off. Yeah, so anyway, we're probably gonna end this video here and do a part 2 when the new lifters come in. Should be here later this week. This video is gonna be super long already, but here we are. You guys have gone through basically the entire oil system on a 350 small block motor. We kind of dug through about every different scenario that you could possibly have, other than the rear cam journal being bad or something messed up with that. We didn't dig into that, but we didn't really need to because we knew we had oil getting at least to that point. And past it, because we did have some oil coming up the lifters. But anyway, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and tune in for episode 2 on this. We'll get these lifters put in, the new ones, get this whole thing put back together, and hopefully she's fixed and we can go try to do a big old smoky burnout in it. Thanks. See you later.